DFW just made history, and it's the kind of milestone that tells you everything about why this market is different from everywhere else in the country. Welcome to Jesse's weekly DFW real estate update. I'm Jesse Showalter. Let's get into it. Coming up, Fort Worth just crossed a major milestone, making DFW the only metro in America with this distinction, and the real estate implications are huge. Nationally, NAR dropped its March sales report this week, and the numbers are more nuanced than the headline suggests, and we've got a brand new master plan community east of Dallas from the team behind Windsong Ranch, and the price point is going to get your attention. Fort Worth is officially a city of 1 million people, and that makes DFW the only metro in the entire United States with two cities over 1 million residents. Dallas, Fort Worth, both over 1 million. No other metro in the country can say that. The broader region now stands at more than 8.3 million residents. Fort Worth alone added around 32,000 people in the past year, one of the top growth totals in the entire metroplex. Tarrant County has grown more than 26% since 2010, reaching about 2.3 million residents, and it's still younger and more affordable than the Dallas-centric core. Here's why this matters for real estate. Population growth is the foundation everything else is built on. Homes may be sitting a little longer right now, and we'll get to that, but the underlying demand engine hasn't stopped. It's one of the most fundamental reasons this market holds up when others don't. The long view here is straightforward. If you're buying in DFW, you're buying into one of the most structurally sound real estate markets in the country. That doesn't change based on what interest rates did last week. But that's not the only headline reshaping this market right now. The tech industry is quietly pouring nearly $1 billion into the land just south of Dallas. And it's starting to reshape what those zip codes look like for homebuyers and investors. DataBank is expanding its Red Oak campus in Ellis County with 2 new data centers each. A 425,000 square foot facility representing $325 million in investment apiece. That's $650 million from DataBank alone in Ellis County, with construction running through early 2028. Yonder Group has announced plans for a 550 megawatt data center campus in Lancaster, just south of Dallas, on a 163-acre site, with a groundbreaking expected this year. And Google is expanding its existing Ellis County campus in Midlothian, committing $1 billion toward that expansion as part of a broader $40 billion commitment to Texas cloud and AI infrastructure through 2027. Their fifth Midlothian facility, an $880 million, 288,000 square foot building, is under construction right now with a February 2027 completion target. According to Lincoln Property Company, South Dallas already has roughly 678 megawatts of data center capacity under construction. Much of it is pre-leased. Here's the real estate angle. This is the infrastructure before the people story. Data centers bring high-paying jobs, utility build-out, and employer anchors to submarkets that were largely agricultural or light industrial 5 years ago. The Red Oak, Midlothian, Wilmer, and Lancaster corridors are receiving commercial investment that typically precedes residential demand growth. It's the same playbook that reshaped Tarrant County a decade ago. Money goes where growth is going, and right now, an enormous amount of that money is going south of Dallas. And DFW isn't alone in feeling those shifts. Let's zoom out nationally. For the first time in almost 10 years, the housing market isn't dramatically tilted toward one side. According to NAR month supply data, we're looking at the most balanced conditions in nearly a decade. And knowing that should change how you think about buying or selling right now. What does balanced actually mean in practice? Homes are sitting longer. More sellers are offering concessions. Buyers can take time to think, get inspections, and negotiate. Things that were basically impossible in 2021 and 2022. Here in DFW specifically, homes averaged 77 days on market in February. That's up 7 days year over year. The close to list ratio is sitting at 93.8%, which means measured negotiation is back on the table. But sellers, don't misread that as bad news. Despite slower sales nationally, homes still received an average of 2.2 offers in March, and about 18% of homes sold above list price according to NAR's Confidence Index survey. Well-priced homes in the right locations are still moving. Redfin agents are describing a steady flow of buyers actively touring homes. They're just taking their time, requesting inspections, and negotiating, which is what a normal market looks like. Think of it this way. In 2022, sellers were holding all the cards. Right now, both sides of the table have a hand worth playing. And NAR dropped its March sales report this week, and the headline number sounds alarming until you understand the full picture. Existing home sales came in at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.98 million, down 3.6% from February and 1% year over year. That's the slowest pace for a March since the financial crisis of 2009. Here's the critical context. That March data largely reflects contracts signed in January and February before the Iran conflict escalated and before mortgage rates climbed significantly. Industry leaders expected further softening in the months ahead as that rate impact fully works through the numbers. Now, here's where it gets counterintuitive. Despite slower sales, the national median home price rose to $408,800 in March, a record high for the month, and the 33rd consecutive month of year-over-year price increases. Fewer closings, but prices aren't falling. That seems backwards until you understand supply. NAR chief economist Lawrence Yun put it plainly. Inventory remains a major constraint, estimating the market still needs an additional 300,000 to 500,000 homes just to approach normal conditions. NAR has also revised its 2026 forecast, trimming its existing home sales projection from a projected 14% gain down to 4%, citing rising mortgage rates driven by the Iran conflict. But the median home price forecast stays unchanged at a positive 4%. Here's the DFW silver lining buried in the regional breakdown. The South was the only region to post year-over-year sales growth, up 2.2%. That includes Texas. DFW buyers are operating in a region that's still transacting when the national market is slowing, and that matters. The bigger question going forward, what happens when the Iran situation stabilizes and rates moderate? The pent-up demand is real and it's building. The national picture is showing up directly in mortgage rates right now, and here's a quick check. According to Mortgage News Daily, on Tuesday, April 14th, when this video was recorded, the 30-year fixed is sitting at 6.33% today, down around 10 basis points from last week's update, despite all the noise in the market out there. That's actually a more positive week than most people expected given everything going on in bond markets. For a deeper dive on where rates are headed, here's my good friend and preferred lender, Mortgage Mike, Michael DeBacker.
The big story we are following is the ceasefire dip. See, as global tensions in the Middle East begin to ease, we're seeing a massive sell-off in oil prices. So why does that matter for your mortgage? Well, it's because lower energy costs means lower inflation expectations. The 10-year Treasury yield, the North Star for mortgage rates, has already responded by pulling back from its recent highs. See, 2 weeks ago, we were around 6.7% for mortgage rates. Today, national average is down a little bit on a 30-year fix, closer to that 6.3, 6.4% range. But what does this actually mean for you as a buyer right now? In a word, I'd say leverage. because Texas inventory is currently at a 6-year high. It's up 24% year over year. So the power shifted back to you. We're in this rare window where you don't have to just take the market rate. You can actually negotiate with a seller to pay for it. So instead of asking for just a small price cut on a home that saves you maybe $40 a month, use this inventory surge to ask for seller concessions. You can negotiate for the seller to cover your closing cost, or even better yet, pay for a permanent rate buy down. This could effectively drop your rate from that 6.4% down into the 5s, saving you hundreds of dollars every single month. If you guys ever have any questions about this or best strategies for your mortgage, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Mike. Great information as always. Before we wrap up, let's talk about a brand new community that just opened model homes east of Dallas. Team behind Windsong Ranch just opened model homes at their next master plan community, and the price point is a lot more accessible than Prosper or Frisco. It's called Meraki, and it's over 1,000 acres in northwest Kaufman County, just east of downtown Forney off Highway 80. When it's fully built out with a projected completion by 2035, it'll include 2,700 homes in total. Phase 1 launches with 406 home sites ranging from 40 to 70-foot lots. The developer is Telus Group, the same team that built Windsong Ranch and Mosaic, two of the most recognized master plan communities in North Texas. If you know what Windsong Ranch looks like, you understand the pedigree here. Builders in Phase 1 include American Legend Homes, Bloomfield Homes, Highland Homes, Perry Homes, and Westfield Homes, with floor plans ranging from 1,900 to 6,000 square feet, with pricing starting from the low 400,000s up to 600,000s. Here's the piece that makes this timely right now. Westfield Homes just confirmed their lot closing on April 7th, last week, with homes available beginning this summer, starting in the low 300s. So if you want early lot selection, the window is open right now. On the amenity side, more than 300 acres of open space, 2 20-acre lakes, a resort-style pool with private cabanas, an outdoor pavilion, and extensive trails throughout. A site is already designated for a future Forney ISD elementary school within the community. A new H-E-B, Home Depot, Costco, BJ's Wholesale Club, and Target are all expected to open nearby in 2026, with Texas Health Hospital Forney coming in 2027. And here's a buyer tip worth noting. Westfield Homes at Meraki includes quartz countertops, soft close cabinetry, luxury vinyl flooring, gas appliances, tankless water heaters, EV charger connections, Cat 6 high-speed wiring, and smart thermostats. All standard, not upgrades. When a builder puts that in a basic spec, the value math changes pretty significantly. The bottom line, this is Windsong Ranch DNA east of Dallas at a fraction of the Prosper price point, with a brand new retail and medical corridor opening right around it. Models are open now, and summer 2026 availability is live. It's worth the drive out Highway 80 on a nice weekend. And before we close, here's something I want to make sure every buyer watching this episode understands. If you're relocating to DFW from out of state, this might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. Texas is one of a small handful of states in the country where every buyer gets an unrestricted right to terminate a real estate contract for any reason, no explanation required, during what's called the option period. Here's how it works. You pay an option fee, usually a few $100s, and it's negotiable. And in exchange, you get a window of time, typically 5 to 7 days, where you are fully in control. During that window, you get your inspections done, you get your insurance quotes, you run the final numbers, and you decide if this house is actually the right move. If anything doesn't feel right, you simply terminate. and you get your earnest money back. In this market where buyers have more inventory and less competition than they've had in years, you have real leverage on the option period itself. Ask for more days, ask for a lower option fee. Use that time to do thorough due diligence, not rushed due diligence. The buyers who get into trouble are the ones who treat the option period like a formality. Texas law gave you that right specifically, so use it. All right, here's your big takeaway this week. DFW just became the only metro in America with 2 cities over 1 million people. That's not a trivia fact. It's a structural demand driver that separates this market from most of the country. Nationally, the market is the most balanced it's been in a decade, which means more tools for buyers and more realistic expectations for sellers. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, the conditions right now are worth a serious conversation. And that's it. That's Jesse's weekly DFW real estate update for the week of Friday, April 17th. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate in North Texas, I'd love to be a resource. No pitch, just a conversation. Book a free 30-minute call in the link below. And I'll see you next Friday.